This is going to be fun. This is going to be slow living. Let's dive into this together. I'm so excited to share this with you because unknowingly I have been living slow living for a while. And let me tell you, when it started, when I made the decision to move to a online practice during COVID, and there were at that time two offices I was running, and a lot of driving, of course, and a lot of busyness. That was one of the first steps I had made in my life very consciously to embrace what was happening in the world, and certainly then the restrictions that we all were living with. One of the aspects of slow living that I'm hoping you're going to see as we carry on here is the idea of embracing what already is happening in your life. So if you were, let's say, transferred to a new job in a new state or country, what does that look like? What could that look like that makes your life a little easier, a little more easeful, a little more thoughtful, perhaps embracing and leaning into the things that you have wanted for a long time? All right, I'm going to share with you here my definition of slow living, some beautiful spiritual content that allows you to embrace how you can take this philosophy, this mindset, this way of being, and build it out into a very holistic approach for living your life. And then I will be sharing with you 5 simple principles for practicing slow living. And slow living is not about being slow. It is about, as you'll see, embracing, savoring life's moments and far more deeply. Slow living is presence. It is the objectivity to make the choices that will allow you to engage all of your attention in cultivating the experiences that you choose deliberately, intentionally, and meaningfully. To live slower is to choose to cultivate the space in your life in which to be far more of the time inside the perfection of living sacred. To live sacred is to be attuned to the oneness of what you feel in the present moment and the moment by moment convictions of life itself. It is to be a witness to your inner world far more and to the path of the sacred that lives and breathes of you. Slow living is all about you. It's about how you embrace your life and the choices that you make in honor of you. It is not following the rest of the tribe. In fact, it's really about taking time to know yourself best so that you are making conscious choices all the time that are truly right and represent what honors you most. Slow living models life in the foreshadowing of each new moment that lives of your ever-present state of wonder and fascination, and to the brilliance of your incredible witnessing of all of life. To live slower is to be present to more singular moments of life unfolding and to the infinite grace of life before you. There is so much you witness and experience fully when you are present to what is happening. If you are sensing a spiritual aspect to slow living, you are indeed right. For when we attune the life that we are choosing, it does mean a greater reliance on our inner rhythm of the moments that we feel compelled to action because we are inspired either by something we see in our environment, something of beauty in nature, or the sheer and deliberate excitement that builds out of a desire, the manifestation of which is bigger than we are. Slow living is deeply conscious. It must be, for it must live out of the inner stirrings that move and inspire you. There is so much love, dignity, grace, and presence for you to witness and in the perfection of what foreshadowing exists, of what is and of what is known. The more you attune to the soul's love and intuition, the more deliberate your choices are, the more expansive you become. The juxtaposition is that we have been socialized to believe that we should and ought to do more. The concept of more typically means busyness, and what it directly translates to may not necessarily be better. More can be accomplished by being effective, precise, patient, thought-filled, and by focusing on quality moments, fully engaged, as you are grateful for what is. More can be predicated on the journey of slowing the mind to focus better, to understand accordingly the solution from a perspective that has needed a sense of time to become prevalent. I just had a thought, which is funny. If you can think of the idea of a slow cooker, do you remember those? And we now have Instapot, which is like full speed, right? A slow cooker, that sense of it taking time for, the food to prepare itself and the flavors to be savory, that takes time. The idea of slow living is that notion of setting up what you need and allowing things to have this beautiful way of organically, abundantly rise to perfection. You always have the choice. Perhaps there are significant events in your life that have caused you to take pause. These are seen in the physical world as a stress leave from work and about change in one's daily living, such as when one becomes ill or injured. We often experience the need for slowing life when grieving and when we ourselves are feeling the loss of a relationship and a loved one. One of the inspirations for this episode of the podcast was my dear client who said that she wanted to start living slow. This coming out of a 6-year tour, working on contract in another part of the world, halfway around the world, and then choosing to come home suddenly to what became her ailing father's last months alive. And then this huge responsibility that was on her to look after everything, including her aging mother, and all the responsibilities that come with the end of life and death, all to which, taking some deeper breaths on the other side of it months later, the desire she expressed in our recent session was to live slower. To live slower does not imply any less quality of life. However, slow living can be attached to a need to reassess one's life, one's personal goals, and certainly what is our personal conditions and choices. That is, what values do we hold that inspire the choices we live? And then what does our period of slow living give to us? Are we consumed with sadness, grief, suffering? Can we hold the space for ourselves to simply be? To take time, to allow for our thoughts to unfold in a way that we hear them slowly. We feel the presence of ease in stillness, in solitude, in simple connections, and in the ways in which we have built our life that are deeply meaningful. The metaphors are clear. Slow living is the certain directive that allows for you to pause longer, to stop for a time to reflect on the past and in the present, and to choose slowly, with great certainty and practice, the future. We need to cultivate moments of exhalation in order to feel and to remember and to be ever so grateful for the moments lived here, far more special and precious than you realized. The past becomes more sacred. The present has new meaning. We can appreciate even more all of the simple moments lived. and all of what lives before us now. Slow living is to be thoughtful. It is to hold presence and grace in the moments of life unfolding. It is to choose the path that allows you to live most deliberately in the conscious authority of what matters most. What matters most is the deliberate kindness and love that you can be in all moments. It is the balance of love's brilliance, for healing and love are born out of the brilliance of the tender moments of majesty you live, moment by moment, in love's grace, in the bounty of all of life, in the miracles of forever. Here and in this distinct moment, you feel deeply. You hold more attention. Love itself is the messenger. To live slowly is to live by the code to which you bring tenderness and love before you, and to the grace of the divine in full authority of your life. You manifest grace in the tender moments lived here and forever. Slow living makes space for inner contemplation. All that ignites your truth is the wisdom of forever here and before you. Love's conviction has no bounds. Slow the mind in deliberate presence. Bring forth the true aspects of your experience in thoughtful order. Live each day in this succession of what builds happiness, joy, love, kindness, possibility, and for witnessing the true life of conscious choice that lives present, here and now. Slow living is about taking time to experience each conscious breath. This is the simplest way to slow down, to appreciate the sacred here and for you and in the moments you live of forever. The notion behind slow living is simplicity. It is about savoring the present moments. It is about feeling inner peace as a starting place in which to thrive in the beauty of each day. In fact, I will encourage of you, if you're thinking about this notion, to really embody it, to embody slow living. Take a few moments at the beginning of each day. You can be sitting with your journal. You can be sitting on your meditation cushion. You can be lying in Shavasana and simply hold the space for you to feel inner peace. Let that be a first marker for how you will approach the day. That, and also, I always love to lean into opening up my heart chakra and feeling love as an energy source. For love inspires so much goodness and definitely consciousness of living more pure, more sacred moments of a life lived slowly. When you begin from a place of inner peace as a starting place in which to thrive in the beauty of each day, dialing down the noise, the chaos, the commotion of the larger world, because you're not reaching for your phone right away. You're making conscious choices how you want to begin the day. And because you are always choosing your moments, your journey, and especially what you allow in, it is a conscious journey. It is a conscious journey of soulful connection unto yourself and with others. You learn how to make meaningful connections because it is what brings such a richness and loving feeling, both to yourself and to others. Slow living means that you value quality, focus, precision, and greater intentionality. You foster gratitude. You cultivate grace and patience for the organic flow of life that is always in motion. Slow living means that you feel the rhythm of harmony. You are perceptive of nature's cycle and wisdom, and you live in sync with the wonder of this. Slow living is finding your pace and the sacred rituals that are sustaining and life affirming for you, that allows you to flourish in all of life's patient moments awaiting. There is no need to rush, rather to feel the inevitable unfolding of your sacred journey. And as you continue to co-create it in flow and in harmony with your highest ideals and the heartfelt desires that become a beautiful life lived in each moment. Slow living cultivates a richer and more authentic experience. It is a true philosophy for a happier life. I think of such well-known concepts as dolce far niente, which hails from Italy, which could be the motto for slow living. It preaches not rushing in life and not burdening yourself with more than what you can carry and not stressing over life's annoyances. Dolce far niente literally means the sweetness of doing nothing or sweet idleness. How perfect is that? This is a part of slow living. So there's certainly going to be work in your slow living repertoire. But then there's this aspect of conscious, deliberate presence in the enjoyment of being. And there's this other beautiful concept. We've heard of hygge. It is a Danish concept referring to a feeling of coziness, comfort, and social atmospheres that promote well-being. It's often associated with Scandinavian culture. It involves finding joy in simple moments, being present, and enjoying the company of loved ones in a warm and inviting atmosphere. Perhaps either of these will inspire your practice of slow living. I'm going to wrap up the episode in a moment with 5 simple principles of slow living that I do hope will inspire you. I also wanted to share one other client story. Just yesterday, in speaking with this client who found herself in this hurriedness, rushing state. She is an avid skier, so she was on the ski hill all day, came home for a quick bite to eat, and then she had pickleball from 6 to 8 and a meeting at 7 o'clock. So she was going to do 45 minutes of pickleball and then rush over to her meeting, and then thought about how she could just forego the pickleball, take some time after a full day of skiing, and just slow things down a little. That is another practical example of slow living. What slow living does is it helps you to prioritize what's most important on any given day. Sometimes we need to make room for other things, and certainly it's that essence of appreciating having the room and the space that we are choosing to enjoy our day, as full and busy as it may be. All right, so let me leave you with this short list of 5 simple principles for slow living. I love this list. I hope it's your go-to list as you embrace this concept. Number 1, embrace simplicity, minimalism, and be thoughtful for how you live your life. So there's a few concepts here. Prioritize only what truly holds value, and you can let go of the unnecessary complexities of life. I think about how we can be more thoughtful in what we say. We can take an extra moment or two to really think through our words before speaking. That is an example of being thoughtful. Certainly, you can be more thoughtful in what you consume, that idea of embracing simplicity or minimalism. Do you need the extra clothes that you're buying? Where do all those clothes go? We know we have a huge problem environmentally of fabrics and materials going into landfill that can be prevented. So it's asking yourself when you're in a store, where is this going to go when I no longer need it? Do I really need this? How is this thing going to contribute to the overall quality of my life? You may make some different choices when you are more conscious of embracing simplicity and minimalism. Number 2, practice meditation and mindfulness. If you really want to slow life down and appreciate more moments of life, meditation as a daily practice, whether it is 10 minutes or if you carve out more time, it could be an hour or more. I would say meditation and also mindfulness are this beautiful, perfect way to slow down clock time. The essence of it is when you are paying more attention to the moments and you are present, it often does feel like you've entered a vortex where time seems to slow down. I think about a yoga practice at home where you are very focused and present. A half an hour can go by very quickly, but you have lived that 30 minutes very intentionally, very beautifully, very thoughtfully. It can feel immensely helpful to slow down life with the luxury of time that you give yourself. Not to mention that meditation and mindfulness leads us into the next principle on my list. Number 3 on my list of simple principles for slow living: cultivate a life rich in the experiences of living your inner peace. We get to inner peace in different ways. For some, it is a leisurely country drive on a Sunday morning with no time commitments and nowhere else to be. Inner peace could be fostered as a practice that is cultivated within you as you meditate, as you practice yoga, as you are mindful in whatever you are doing. Perhaps you are taking a leisurely walk in nature in full presence. Perhaps it is something as simple as gazing out your window. All of the ways in which you experience inner peace become the grateful means to which you navigate life. And with that, a deep sense of equanimity. E- Equanimity being a calm and composed approach to all challenges, seeing them as moments that lead to something better. At times, very much what strengthens your resilience and deepens your appreciation of the perspectives you hold. Number 4, value contentment and gratitude. There's genuine happiness that comes from many things that are already in your life rather than the endless, relentless pursuit of material possessions. And even as you may be working toward a goal of something in your material life, remember to be grateful and content with all that you have. That is truly slow living embodied. It is about taking care of what you own and looking after what you have now, even as you are looking to acquire more. And again, you're going to ask yourself, what is this more? Where's it going to go when I no longer need it? And how does it serve me? And finally, number 5 in my list of 5 simple principles to enjoy life slowly: live with intention and purpose. You build a purpose-driven life as you seek to live your highest ideals, as you desire and accomplish what are meaningful goals for you, as you ensure that your words and actions align with your core values. And this can include defining your core values if you have not yet done so. That in of itself is a beautiful way to examine what life and slow living could be for you. And being directive with your intention. That is the idea of cultivating quality in all that you do and seeing the value of thinking about how you can live future moments with more appreciation, more intention, and more grace. I also want to point to this wonderful idea of slow living in the workforce. A book written by a computer scientist, Cal Newport, called Slow Productivity. There are 3 principles in his book that are aligned with what we're talking about. Number 1, do fewer things. That is, working on fewer things at once gives you a chance to be uninterrupted, to have better concentration. Number 2, work at a natural pace. And third, obsess over quality. Identify the things that you do that produce the most value and that you care about the most, and focus on getting better at that. One of the important outcomes of the research on slow productivity, as you practice these 3 tenets, is that the pace at which important things are finished goes up. The quality of what you are producing is going to go up, and your happiness levels go up. All to say, we can definitely embody slow living as both our personal and our professional worlds. And not only is a game changer, it's definitely going to help you feel a greater sense of quality and peace and happiness to your life. If I had to sum up slow living in one word, it would be this: savor. Savor life in a way that perhaps you have not before. Let that be your start to slow living, to embracing the moments, and with this essence of how sacred and beautiful the moments and your life can be. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It was really fun putting it together for you. If you would like some help building out a robust and beautiful life of living slow, please reach out to me. Let me help you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in the next episode. Thank you so much. Namaste. Your vision is the beginning. Download the Juno app. Check out what we're up to. Give yourself the gift of Juno Premium to have the full experience. Your journey awaits you. Namaste.